7-7 rematch.
I did come through hard at the end that last game.
It was kind of a bit lucky. I felt like it because
Lucky?
I felt like I had you on the ropes, and then it just all came up to bonus.
Sometimes that's what happens. You know?
I know. Sometimes it does happen.
This is not a good start. I'll tell you that much. Who goes first?
Well, I guess I get to go first because you won the last game. I'm totally making that up.
Wow, loser starts. Okay,
Yeah.
go.
Jacks. Sweet. How do you feel about kings?
I don't feel them. Go fish. All right, fours.
Go fish.
So yeah,
When we were talking about the cast, and you and I had a lot of chat about it because you felt like it was important for the cast to already have a relationship.
I think that there was a big thing with dynamics, you know.
Yeah.
Group dynamics is, to me, it was very important, especially in the early stages of the show. It was supposed to be like a shit talking thing, right? Like it's supposed to be that, and I remember you can't really do that around strangers unless you have the right group of strangers.
Yep.
And having a group of friends play with each other games.
Yep.
And then being able to riff and kind of talk shit with each other, that to me
Comfortably
was the thing. Because you know the person, you know what you can say and what you can't say, and kind of where to walk a line with them, you know?
Yeah.
And I really do think that was a very important thing, dynamics. And, you know, like we were mentioning in the last episode, it was good that there are so many comedians that play games, that know each other, that hang out with each other.
Yeah.
And even with our last second problem with Ted,
Right.
we were still able to pull together
Right.
Niall as the host, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that right there, to me, I knew everyone wanted to be there because, like, springing the, hey, Niall, now you're this rules like lawyer character that Ted's already been like practicing for, and
let's take a pause here.
Yeah.
What is a rules lawyer?
So as far as I understand it, it's a term that comes from the board game community, and it's sort of like a derogatory term. Like when you and I are playing and you try to do something and I'll be like, oh no, Mark, you need to, right? So it's similar to like a referee, but somebody who's kind of keeping an eye on everything, who knows the rules, who knows how it's going to play. But we sort of used that term rules lawyer because Jay thought it's kind of an inside joke to board gamers.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, this was something that took me, like, it totally makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
But I've never heard of it until we started talking about
I had never heard of that term either before. Like, and I do play board games with my friends and whatever else.
So maybe it's like a slang term
I
or
think
something.
it's more, it's more of a sort of like tongue-in-cheek, like poke the bear kind of, you know what I mean? But because Ted is so into games, and I think initially, if I remember correctly, Christoph was going to be the rules lawyer, right? And then Ted was just going to be one of the contestants.
I think the initial idea was Deanne was the host, or the main. Yeah, Deanne was the familiar face,
exactly. Yeah,
and then Christoph was supposed to be the rules lawyer, and then we were going. Does he sit on like a
lifeguard
chair? Does he?
We had a whistle at some point.
We had whistles, referee shirts, coming and going. And it definitely was a very complicated, overcomplicated something. We overcomplicated something that should have been very simple, of friends just playing games.
Well, and I think what happened was I had arranged all the games. We knew which games we were going to play. I'd given copies of those games, Summit, Four Gardens, King of 12, Mind Management, and Paranormal Detectives to Ted and Christoph, and they organized and played the games on their own.
Yeah.
And that came out of Christoph coming to me and Deanne saying, we all talked about it. How do you feel about Ted and Christoph switching spots? Because they, amongst themselves, decided it would be better. And I was on board because to me, if they're more comfortable, it makes our lives easier. But to me, Ted was the linchpin
Okay.
And then, right? Because Ted knew all the games inside and out, and Ted was going to do tutorials, and Ted was going to,
For him, it's like second nature
and something he wants to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll chat with Ted later on today.
Yeah, today we are going to be talking with Ted, and and again, it would have been a you can't have your cake and eat it too scenario having Ted on the cast.
Right.
But I do think obviously, Ted, first of all, I got to say thank you to Ted for not coming sick.
Right.
Because there are so many people that I think just, obviously minus the crazy times. If you're sick, why are you showing up to work?
Well, exactly.
And it's like, I get if you're like a little bit sick, but to be visibly sick and think that you're okay to do anything, like,
right.
So thank you, Ted, for not coming.
Thanks, Ted.
And I'm sorry that.
And I'm sure Deanne and Christoph and Heather and the crew and Niall also thank you.
Yeah, everyone
because
it
was a very grown up and mature decision, and I know it was hard for him because
it's been in the works for so long,
for over a year almost.
Yeah, and obviously like Ted loving games to the level that he does, but I think it's your turn right now.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go 9s is what I'm gonna do.
Nope. Ooh. Go fish.
You think?
Do you have 3s? Oh, thank you. Do you have 7s?
Go fish.
Did I ask you that already?
I don't know. I'm still saying go fish. How do you feel about queens?
Just
winner. What about jacks?
No jacks. Go fish. Do you have 6s?
Go.
Oh yeah.
Fish on.
10s?
Nope.
Go fish. Okay.
Kings?
Go fish.
Oh, winner. I got a king.
Okay.
Aces?
Go fish.
All right.
Do you have queens?
Oh, suck it.
Mm-hmm. Do you have 7s?
Suck it. Jack?
Go fish. Do you have aces? Ace. Do you have 6?
Go fish.
Oh, picked up a 6.
You are so lucky.
Do you have 7s?
No. Go fish.
Okay.
Did you pick up a jack?
I did not. Go fish. Do you have 9s? Thank you. Man. Did I ask you this?
You told me you didn't remember how to play this. I feel like I'm getting hustled. I'm getting Go Fish hustled by Mark DeBonis right now.
Do you have any 3s?
Go Fish.
Okay.
Do you have any 4s?
Yeah.
Sweet. Do you have any 8s?
8s, go fish. Do you have any aces?
Go fish. You have any jacks?
Go fish.
Goldfish.
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 Do you have any 10s?
Go fish. 4s?
Go fish.
Hmm.
Do you have any 9s?
Go fish. I know you got 7s.
I do. Unfortunately.
Sweet. What about 4s?
No.
Man.
Do you have any queens?
No. Go fish. You have any aces? Do you have any jacks?
Go fish. Do you have any kings? Thank you. That worked out.
No, it didn't. I'm going to get hosed right here.
Do you have any queens?
Go fish. Do you have any 2s? Do you have any 7s?
Go fish. Do you have any...
Do you have any jacks?
Go fish. Do you have any aces? You. Do you have any 9s?
Go fish. You have any queens?
I was literally just going to ask you that.
I know you were. Did you pick up a 4?
No, go fish. Do you have any 10s?
Go fish. You have any 3s?
Oh my God.
Oh. What about twos?
Go fish. Do you have any fours?
Nope. Oh, I do. That many. I got a few.
Do you have any sixes?
Go fish. You have any fives?
Just close this.
Oh.
Fives.
Do you have any eights? You have any jacks?
Go fish.
F.
Do you have any nines?
Go fish. You have any sixes? You have any twos?
Go fish. Do you have any eights? Okay.
This is it right here. It's over.
Do you have any nines?
Nope.
So this could be a 9.
If you pick up a 9, the game's over. It's all yours, I think.
Okay.
You didn't? Do you have any fives?
Go fish. Do you have any jacks? Do you have any nines? Okay.
This is it. It's over. So you pick the top one up.
Do you have any twos? All right.
Again, from behind to bonus. Man, this is your game, dude.
I've been thinking about Go Fish for years, and I'm happy that this is happening. But so like it's, playing a game, you really, it's hard to talk and play.
I mean, it depends on the game, right? But I mean,
Well, this is Go Fish.
Yeah.
And it's still hard to multitask.
Of course. Yeah.
And having the group of people that we did playing games that were, foreign-esque, I guess, because they were just learning how to play them.
Yeah.
And I really think that the way that it all came together was, it really was like we were in a basement,
Yeah, well, and that was one of the original concepts was where are we going to shoot this thing, right? We can't afford a studio. We can't afford this. So then we had the idea for a while to have it like in Deanne's apartment, and they were having a games night.
Yeah,
right?
I remember that, and like Deanne was inviting over friends, and
yeah, we had like a whole scenario set up. Like Christoph was there, but he wasn't allowed to play, and he was sort of the and then we sort of started to simplify it and keep to what's the most important, which I think the bottom line is 4 people having a fun time playing a board game.
And this is where, now, don't get me wrong, I'm imagining if you're in some tournament and you're playing with strangers, you could for sure like have a good time. But the importance, again, of the dynamic was we had a group of people that, we had to switch from the last second, dynamic switch where Ted couldn't get in. So we had Niall, and then we brought Brian in. And on top of all that, like, the whole thing that made Niall's job slightly easier was Jay's knowledge on board games.
Of course. I mean, like Jay, that's his world, right? So his world and my world kind of collided.
Yeah.
And you're sort of in my world.
I'm for sure. Yeah. I would be more on your side.
And in reality, like someone like Ted and Christoph, who are super into board games, are also part of Jay's world.
Yeah.
So it was a nice split dynamic-wise.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like Niall loves board games, but I don't think he's like nerding out about like reading books and all that kind of stuff, right?
Because that's a whole other level.
Exactly.
And like, I'm assuming that, with Jay being like the board game architect,
publisher. He's a publisher and creator,
Yeah, as a board game creator, it's like, I'm sure that there's like a series of simple, basic rules that every game follows, but you switch them a little bit? Or is it like every game has its own?
I think there's a ton of like categories, right? And every game sort of either follows the same structure or it has its own. Or you take like a resource gathering,
like if there's a
platform,
resort, it's the same idea where water is used. Maybe
So
you can take 5 instead of 2.
There's some similarities, which make games easier to play the more games you know how to play.
Yeah.
Right? That kind of thing. But
I think, we have a clear topic for our next episode because we're going to be talking with
Jay.
We're talking with Jay. And, the idea of talking about rules in general, I think is really what, are rules more important than gameplay? Like, what do you think is, are we saving this for next week?
We should save it for next week. But personally, I think The rules are important to just draw the parameters of the gameplay. And one of the things that Jay and I talked about a lot was being true to the game. We didn't edit the game. We didn't like force the game. We didn't reset up the game. They played that game.
It was natural.
Through and through.
Yeah, we didn't. And that also made it hard to film because sometimes they were long. But
well, yes.
Let's talk about this next time. I am now, I think, 2-0 in Goldfish.
All right. It's your deal.
Goldfish, go fish.
It's your deal, dude.
I'll deal, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a quick conversation that we're going to be having with Ted.
Yep.
And yeah, happy to see what Ted's been up to, and hopefully
he's not too mad with us.
Doesn't hate us. Yeah.
Well, I don't think he hates us. I mean, I think we'll figure out a way to get him into next season.
For sure. Yeah.